All right. The sound went off, you know. There's no sound. We're live. Welcome back. Your sound is gone. Yeah, I can't hear you. Olivier is going to mime the entire thing today.
We are back.
We're back. We're live.
So what am I looking at? Oh, yeah. I'm at the kitchen today, my kitchen in Berkeley, because tonight I have a class, online class. So this is my setup.
You know, I knew you were in the kitchen. You know how I knew?
No.
Because you have a pan there and an oven. Is that a microwave or an oven? Oh, it's a safe.
No microwave.
It's a safe.
Never.
Do you keep your valuables in there?
Yeah. That's what we used to do. You know, in the old days, in most restaurants I've worked out, the cash at night was kept in the freezer. I don't know why, but everybody used to do that. So when anybody that was a waiter or bartender would rob a restaurant, they knew exactly what to go right in the freezer. That's where the cash is. It's funny.
They go looking for cold hard. That's what they mean by cold hard cash.
That's why I keep my newspaper in the fridge. So I have fresh news all the time.
Ah, very good. Yeah. So how come you looked at me when you said, "Do you remember the old days?"
Well,
like I'd remember old days. So I have a correction to make from yesterday because I made a mistake. Oh. I know it's hard to believe and it's my first time, but I didn't realize it till the show was over. We were talking about beer and we were talking about the difference between lager and ale. And I was talking about how it's different yeasts and they brew at different temperatures. But I made a mistake. The lager, which is like a lot of people are familiar with Pilsner. Pilsner is a lager beer. They're very fresh, crisp, clean beers. And they are brewed at a much, much lower temperature. And as a result, the yeasts sink to the bottom. So it's called a bottom fermented beer. And ale is just the opposite. And also lagers take several weeks to make. Ales are what is called top fermenting beers because they're brewed, they're fermented at a much higher temperature, and the yeast, the particular yeast they use, rise to the top of what's called the wort or the mixture of grain and yeast. So it's called a top fermenting beer, and those take days to make. So I said the opposite yesterday because it was opposite day, and I forgot.
That's why we got so many. James, that's why we got so many emails.
Oh, I'm sure. I have a bag
many emails here. Not about the beer or anything like this. Just so many emails.
Well, it was opposite day, and I just forgot to tell you. So there's my correction.
All right.
My mistake. And now I can move on with my life. So we've got a couple of good questions today. The first one is we're going to talk about gluten-free foods a little bit. We're going to talk about fresh food versus canned or frozen food. And we're going to talk about the mysterious French food called haricots verts.
Haricots verts.
Haricots verts, and we're going to see if we can figure out what color they are. So first question.
What color are the haricots verts?
And who was buried in Grant's tomb? That's another one I want to know. So somebody asked, what's the deal with gluten-free foods all of a sudden? And
it's not all of a sudden. Well, I mean, it's been a few years now.
They asked this question a long time ago.
Right.
And they also want to know, should I avoid gluten? Like, what's the deal with gluten? So
some people should.
Some people should. Some people don't really need to worry about it. Probably most of us could reduce the amount of gluten we eat and probably feel better as a result. Gluten is a protein that is found in 2 or 3 different kinds of grain, particularly barley, wheat, which is the big one, and rye.
And also, just to add, so gluten is a lectin. So basically people that have inflammation or any type of thing that react to lectin, like nightshades and stuff like that, that's a lectin. So if you have any issues with that, those are the same family. The skin of the potato, the skin of the eggplant, bell pepper, skin of potatoes, and gluten and such a things.
And it can act as an inflammatory agent.
Exactly.
Which is what a lot of people have a problem with, is that it creates problems in the body. For people that are actually celiac, which is a very particular disease, they cannot eat any gluten at all because their body can't.
Celiac is really difficult.
Yeah, and it'll actually cause a corrosion of the stomach and the intestinal walls, and
lots of inflammation, and
it will mess you up.
As we know right now, it's one thing you really don't want is any type of inflammation for any type of inflammation, because inflammation can generate a lot of issues, and with that happening right now, we need to be very careful with that.
Right. A lot of people that avoid gluten say that their joints feel better. They sometimes lose weight. We're not advocating it as a weight loss diet, but it is one of the side effects of not eating gluten, and particularly wheat. Wheat is also one of the top 10 allergens, so it's very common for people to have problems with wheat. So my personal theory is that we've messed around with the wheat so much in modern times, especially in America, that it's just not the same grass.
It's not just in America. America is where we can see the worst result and the most catastrophic result, because they really went crazy on making tons of money on crappy food faster than other people. But it's a worldwide stuff. We've been breeding the wheat to get more with less, and now the wheat we are eating today is very different from what we used to eat. So now we have much more reactions. If you want to eat bread, you need to eat, if possible, sourdough, because the sourdough, the glutens are already pre-digested, they're already pre-cut. So the problem with gluten is it's not really water soluble, and what you make is when you cut all those gluten, all those clips, all those hooks, then it becomes more water soluble. Like, for example, spelt flour has gluten, but much less tight. So it's easier to clip down and to make it water soluble.
Right.
So spelt is a great alternative for people who have gluten sensitive. There's still gluten, but it's way easier to digest. Celiac people cannot eat spelt.
Yeah, celiac people cannot eat any kind of wheat-related grain, and there are many. Farro, spelt. There's
it's an allergy. You react.
It's verboten. So a lot of people have adopted gluten-free diets because they just say it makes them feel better.
Yeah.
Or because they've had problems and they're trying to address these problems by eliminating gluten and particularly wheat from their diet.
Yep.
And you know what? It used to be really hard because there were so few alternatives available. And now not only have people, especially bakers, become much more savvy about cooking without gluten.
I know, right?
There's so many more products available. There's
lots of options. Yes, it's true.
Beautiful flours available on the market.
I do a lot of gluten-free stuff. I have to for Lisa, my business partner. She is gluten-free, gluten allergy, and we have to make a bunch of stuff. There's a dessert that we are making for our food pickup this week. It's a really good gluten-free olive oil lemon cake.
Oh, nice.
Really good. All gluten-free. Super good.
We make a dessert here with teff. You know teff?
Yeah.
Teff is a
heavier.
very, very tiny little grain, and we make a teff pudding.
That's heavier. It's a lot heavier. That's why we do
That's why we make
injera.
Oh.
That's why we make the injera, the African bread. When we have an Ethiopian class, I make injera.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have to make it 4 days in advance, and I make that with teff flour.
Oh, nice, nice.
And I cheat because instead of putting water, I put water and beer. So I get a lot of fermentation. Whoa.
Oh, nice. Well, we won't tell anyone. This will be our secret, just between you and me.
We'll do the beep thing. Beep.
Yeah. One problem I think that arises from people trying to adopt a gluten-free diet is that they rely too much on packaged products, and they say, "Oh, well, there's a ton of snack foods out there now that are gluten-free," and people read gluten-free and they think, "Oh, I can eat lots of this. This is good for me." But it's still snack food. It's still junk food, and
a lot of time it's full of sugar.
Full of sugar
and to give flavor. It's just
And a lot of times the flour they use a lot of potato flour and bean flour, so it's got a lot of calories, a lot of kind of empty calories, and junk food out of a box is junk food out of a box, whether it's got gluten in it or not. So just beware of that. Just beware of that. When you
just be aware of that.
You tell them I told you.
Yeah, gluten free. There's a lot of things gluten free. We don't have. I mean, it's a really easy one to deal with.
But I tell people that if they
need bread, I don't need that much bread. I'm fine.
Yeah, I tell people that if they really want to be gluten free, they should cook their own food. That's the best thing to do.
Well, they do, most of them.
Yeah. All right, so.
Yeah, gluten-free is definitely a way to it's a great way to start to see if inflammation is going away. It's not maybe the 100% solution, but it's a start. It's a good way to start. And then milk also. And then dairy, but milk first.
Yeah, a lot of experts say that if you want to find out, just go gluten-free for like 30 days, just completely, and then see how you feel. And anyway, so. That's all I have to say about gluten-free.
That's all? That's a huge subject.
I could go on and on, but...
no, please. Thank you.
So speaking of food, speaking of food? A student asked, is fresh food always better than canned food? And what about frozen food?
Yeah, how about frozen food? Yeah.
So... yeah, sure. Generally speaking, fresh food is always should be your first choice. But remember that not all fresh food is made the same. I mean, if your food is being shipped from the other side of the world, if you're getting food shipped for thousands and thousands of miles in refrigerated trucks that has to last for months.
Yeah, right.
And it's been grown with lots of chemicals and stuff, then, it's not that great. Sometimes maybe canned vegetables are better. I prefer frozen vegetables myself to canned.
Right. Canned vegetables is only good when it's like fish, beans, maybe sometimes soup.
Yeah, canned beans are great.
But the beans, the hard beans, yes, it's not as nutritive as the dried bean that you soak yourself.
Right.
You lose a lot nutrients, but it's an easy and very convenient to use. I use them a lot. In a can, I like all the fish. Sardines.
All the fish.
Good quality sardines, anchovies, herrings, and then sun tuna, really good. There's a few companies that do a really good job. And then in a can, I would say artichokes.
Yeah, artichoke hearts, although a lot of times they come in a jar.
Yeah, jars are really good. And then that's it. I don't see anything else. Maybe I miss a couple, but no cans, no canned vegetables, like no canned green beans or corn. This is really terrible. You might as well want to buy them frozen because they retain a lot of nutrients, right? This is the best way to go.
When I grew up in the Midwest, I didn't love most vegetables, and the reason I didn't love most vegetables is because all the ones I ever ate out of a can, and they were terrible.
Right.
So when I grew up and discovered fresh vegetables, it was kind of a revelation.
I know. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But frozen food will be the next. So the canned vegetables is not great. It's good for like work times.
Yeah.
And but you lose a lot of nutrients because that water is sucking all the nutrients away. So unless you drink all the water, which has all the extra stuff you really don't want to, all those chemicals that to keep the food, those whatever.
Yeah, I think as a part,
it's not a good idea.
to have some in your pantry as part of an earthquake preparedness kit.
Right, exactly.
And it'll keep you alive.
But don't forget the can opener in this case.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't see much use for them. And like Olive said, frozen are much better. They're much tastier too. So, and speaking of vegetables, someone asked, what's the difference between white and green asparagus, and what makes white asparagus white?
That's a cool question. Next question.
The Spanish have made a delicate, by Spanish I mean people of Spain, have made a real delicacy out of white asparagus. They freaking love it.
Also, oh my God, are you kidding? My mom,
I don't get it.
My mom, she loved those white asparagus. They were super expensive. They're like 3 or 4 times the price.
Well, and the reason is because to make them white, you have to, as you're growing, you have to keep mounding up the dirt so that they never really get exposed to the sun.
Yeah.
And they don't get that chlorophyll, and they stay white. And I've never really had fresh ones. I've had them a few times that come out of a jar, and people.
Oh wow! No, Montreal Market has them often.
Oh.
Montreal Market has them. Like occasionally you can see white asparagus.
I'll have to buy them.
It's very delicate. It's very delicate. It's a very soft flavor because of that. There's not too green. It's very light in color.
But do they have much nutritional content, since they don't get the?
They have different nutrients. They just are missing the chlorophyll, which does the thing. But in plants and vegetables and stuff, there's a myriad of food. So don't get hooked on one item. There's no need for that.
Yeah.
So in the asparagus, when you look at the asparagus is a stem. That's what it is. And then you have a little flower on the top. Whatever is in the ground will be white.
Right.
Whatever on top of the ground will be green. So when you look at the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, it's very, very, you can actually see the difference.
Sure.
The broccoli is green and the broccoli is white because the leaves cover that flower.
Right.
So the sun never hits the cauliflower.
And cauliflower looks like a brain.
Yeah. Not my brain, but a brain.
The last time I looked at my brain.
So another type of vegetables that you can look at that is interesting, it's not really vegetables, is mushrooms. So the mushroom, I don't know if you notice, but when the mushrooms are in the sun, they don't get green, they get brown. So you know they're not vegetables, obviously, because vegetables make glucose out of that CO2. Right. Now, the mushrooms do not eat from the sun, so they can't produce that energy from those nutrients. They can't produce nutrients from that energy from the sun. They have to eat a little bit like us. They're scavengers, so they have to get nutrients from the dying plants and the dying leaves on the ground, and they go underground. And a mushroom can grow about a mile a day in like little mycelium under the ground. It's pretty crazy.
Right.
And the top part that you see on the mushroom is basically melanin, just like we do. Mm-hmm. So it's not a vegetables at all, because vegetable will become green with the sun, mushroom becomes brown. And develop vitamin D2.
Do you know why everybody wants to invite the mushroom to a party?
No.
Because he's a fungi.
I should have a little thing that says laugh, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, you could just laugh and then.
I could, but it was difficult.
That's an old joke, but I'm an old guy. Okay, so I have one more question today that I think we can cover, and we're going to have a little demo here. And the question is, what are haricots verts? And the short answer is that they are quite literally green beans. They are long green beans, but they're very, very thin green beans. They're grown in such a way that they're very thin. They're very delicious.
Well, some are very, very thin. Not all of them.
Not all of them?
I mean, the thin ones are called the French green bean. I don't know why, actually. The very thin one are the French one. The other one are the big one. They're really good. Green beans, we eat a lot of green beans in France. Tons, actually. There is a lot of nutrients in green beans. A lot of nutrients. So if you want to blanch them a little bit and eat it with a little vinaigrette, with some hard-boiled eggs and some anchovies and
But but chef,
yes.
how are we going to know how to make a vinaigrette?
Oh, I can show them.
Oh,
Maybe.
Can you show us how to make a vinaigrette?
So for the green beans are very healthy. It's something that has tons of nutrients, lots of vitamin C, and lots of phenolic compound. Very, very great amount of that. So it's very, very nutritive little guy. To make a dressing, I just pulled some stuff for you guys. A bowl, a whisk, mustard, French mustard. This is from Burgundy. Whatever you want, something French, I like them. I'm going to put about this much, that much vinegar. So it's about the same amount of vinegar to mustard. Okay, whatever the measurement is. So let's say this equal to about 1 tablespoon. So all I need to do, really, that's it, is put about 2 tablespoons of oil, and I'm done. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. So boom. Done. Look how easy that is. That's it.
The mustard helps emulsify it, helps keep oil and vinegar together, which naturally, of course, repel one another.
Done.
Very nice.
So vinaigrette is really cool. It's super easy to do. You guys cannot buy dressing. I tell you, man, don't buy those dressings. This is going to last forever because it can't go bad. You can leave it out outside. Just keep it close so it doesn't oxidize. The olive oil will oxidize. If you're not eating vinaigrette every day, which you should, but if you're not, you can keep that in the fridge. It will harden. So every time you serve it, you have to put it out about 15, 20 minutes before you serve it on the salad.
But it just needs a quick whisk.
A fresh vinaigrette is really amazing. You should always do it. It's easy. You can keep it outside. It took me like literally 15 seconds to make.
And you can use any kind of vinegar. In fact, it's good to use
any kind of vinegar.
Vinegars. I usually use more than one
vinegar, red wine, Moscato, Balsamico, cheaper balsamic.
You can use white wine vinegar, champagne vinegar. You can put shallots in it. You could put herbs in it.
Yep.
Although I just usually put the herbs directly on the salad if I'm making the salad. But yeah, I don't understand why people spend so much money on salad dressing.
You should spend your money on your olive oil and your vinegar and make it yourself and have something incredible that's super healthy that you can eat all day long. You can eat. I mean, you should eat twice a day salads anyways before each meal. So that's your dressing. That will help you eat the salad. Now, if you don't want to eat, some people get lazy sometimes, and it's completely understandable. This is great because it stays outside. Let's say you have romaine salad and you don't want to make a big deal. You just take the leaves and dip it and just eat like this and put it away. I mean, seriously. It's super easy, super easy. You should always eat good food. Even if you don't serve it in a dish, that's fine. But always have stuff to eat good food. Always get a bunch of stuff ready for you.
It's a great thing to have if you make artichokes too, because I like to dip the leaves in it.
For artichoke, I would put more mustard. It's too liquidy. Yeah. For the more mustard, it makes thicker. So it dips in there. It stays really on the leaves.
Yeah.
Very good, huh?
Yes. So somebody wanted to know, we have a couple minutes left. Somebody wanted to know, what would you request for your last meal? If you had to pick a last meal, what would it be? I guess I'd want to know why it was my last meal. I mean, am I going to be shot in the morning? In which case, I'm going to have a big meal.
I don't know. I would go with a burger.
A burger, yeah, that'd be good.
Bacon cheeseburger with fried egg.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. And what to drink?
If I'm going to be cremated, I might have some raw corn. Yeah, some raw corn on the cup. That would be fun. Just
give them a little surprise. I might have an entire roast chicken as my last meal.
Oh yeah.
With good salad, maybe some roasted potatoes.
Be careful, you can die on the bones. You can die with those bones, so don't die before your time, man.
Yeah, there was a prisoner that was. They asked him what he wanted for his. He was on death row, and they asked him what he wanted for his last meal, and he said he wanted whatever it was. It was a steak or a burger or something, but he wanted to eat it while watching the entire 4 movies of the Lord of the Rings series. Which takes like, I don't know how long it takes, 3 days to watch or something. I thought, well, that's very smart.
Yeah, but those 3 days are gonna come. Oh boy.
Well,
so
I know
my setup works well for tonight. I think I'm gonna be great. I have 2 cameras. Hopefully this thing is gonna be good.
What are you demonstrating tonight?
I have a class. I'm trying to do online classes. So now we have classes all the time.
Right, but what is tonight's class?
Tonight is I'm actually rehearsing one of the basic. I have a basic series.
Aha.
So tonight would be we're doing braising, which is a lapin chasseur, or kind of a rabbit chicken cacciatore. Nice. And I'm gonna make some boiled potatoes with garlic and butter and parsley,
Nice. What time should I be over? What time do you think that'll be done?
Say 6:15.
Ah, excellent, excellent.
That's the time the dishes needs to be done. So I'll be done with my dinner at 6.
So people can still register for classes at Kitchen on Fire. Then do they just register as they normally would?
Some online. We're putting more online now. We're getting ready to be reopening in the summer, somewhere around the summer. We are not sure when. I don't know. It looks like maybe August or September, but we can do things before. We have food that we do every week. We do meal pickup. It's really good. Mm-hmm. We do really healthy food and really good food, and trying to stay alive, man. And also keep our mind busy, because it's terrible to do nothing. It will get your mind. So we have to do stuff, and even if it doesn't pay anything, we have to keep going and just keep moving. I mean, this is super important. So whatever.
That's right. We all have to stay busy. I continue to write, even though no one's publishing it or buying it.
No one's reading it.
No one's reading it except me. But I'm my biggest fan. So
yeah, right. It's true. I'm your fan too.
I'm writing the story of my life, and I'm trying to work my way through it because I want to see how it ends. So
I'm not dead yet. I can write the end later.
Somebody said, "Have you known this person all your life?" And I said, "Not yet." But I'm working on it. Oh well, that was good.
That was good. So I like my new setup. I'm gonna maybe we still haven't decided what day we're gonna do our show next week, but we're working on that, right?
Well, I saw you. Yeah, we're gonna move to once a week, probably an hour show, and we'll let you know tomorrow what day that's gonna be.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say that I have seen your video for how to make an omelet. And it's really, really good. Everybody should check that out. Just go to YouTube. And
James, I was going to ask you, do you work at Cesar? Do you work this week or no? Are you going to work soon?
I'm not working this week. Oh, I am. I'm going to work on Sunday at Cesar.
And Cesar also does food delivery. You want to talk about it for a minute?
Yeah, Monday through Sunday. I'm sorry, Tuesday through Sunday. We're open 3 to 7. We've got a smaller menu than normal, but it's still an ample menu.
It looks really good.
Three different vegetable salads, filet mignon, 4 different bocadillos, which are the big sandwiches, and paella in various forms.
Wow.
Individual portions or for as many as you want. We're also selling margaritas in little mason jars.
That's great. Oh my God.
and then wine by the bottle and beer by the bottle. So it's a great deal. The prices are great. They're a little lower than they normally are.
Oh, wow. Okay,
And
good.
So
So,
yeah, try and see us.
yeah, great. And Cesar is right next door, literally right here.
I can't see it.
It's right here.
Oh, it's behind that brick wall. Sorry.
Yeah. There's
All
bricks
right.
everywhere. You know, I love my bricks, man. This is something that
I love your bricks too, man.
when we redid that building, the whole building is completely new, and the only thing we want to keep is that whole wall of brick. It goes the whole way, and we said whatever we do, we have to keep that brick. So they had to do all kind of weird stuff to hold it in place, but it looks so beautiful. I can't, you know, it feels very good and warm. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're out of
Hey,
time.
man. Thank you, James, and everybody.
Thank you, Chef Olive. We'll see everyone tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, tomorrow 3 o'clock, and we're gonna move. So next week we'll move the show once a week.
Yes.
1 hour, maybe more, but right now 1 hour is good, right?
1 hour is all we can promise. But if you demand it, we'll go longer.